Hello and welcome everybody to Phillies Unfiltered. I am Jim Russo along with Brent Tracy. Brent, how are we doing today?
Not too bad, Jim.
All right.
We're at the top of the division right now. That's teetering back and forth with the
Yes, it
Mets, and I
is.
think that's going to be the case to the very end, it seems. But we're not in bad position right now.
Right.
We've got some stuff to talk about
Yeah,
today.
yes, we do. It wasn't the expected 500 week of baseball. They won three, lost three. You wouldn't expect them to lose two of the White Sox,
Right.
but they took two from the Tigers, which is I honestly would have expected the other way around if you told me this, way back when. Like this is what's going to happen this particular week. I mean, there were some standouts on both sides. Like, hey, here's what's going on. But we have some moves to talk about. We had the trade deadline, so before all the whole week gets started, we're talking trades, talking trades. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what we think is going to happen. Here's what might happen. But the Phillies acquired Duran and Harrison Bader. They're the two big moves. I'm not really going to talk about the Matt Manning thing. But what are your
Hmm.
thoughts on, before I get into the weekly recap, studs and duds? I want to get to this trade deadline and talk about these two guys. What are your thoughts so far? What have you seen in the past? What's your expectation of these guys?
So I got to be honest. I didn't know a ton about Duran. He's in the American League. We don't really see him much. But once I heard we were pursuing him, I started to look into him a little bit, and I'm like, all right, well, he's definitely got the credentials that none of our guys in the pen right now
Right.
have. And at that point, I was pretty happy, and I was also happy with what we gave up, which is to say, not a ton. No disrespect to Mick Abel or Tait, but Tait is 18 years old, and he's still way, way away from the major leagues. So and Abel, I don't know that there was a spot for him with all the,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of pitchers, starting pitchers. So I think it was a good deal that Dombrowski pulled off
So
there.
do
I'm
I.
glad he didn't give up Painter. I know they were looking to get Painter, but I'm glad Dave held strong and didn't give him up, because I think that would have been a mistake for a closer, even with 2 years left, of
Right.
control. But no, I'm thrilled, and of course we can talk about it, as we get into it. But what an entrance in
Yeah,
his
that's
first
so cool.
game! I mean, that
So
was
cool.
my whole family was sitting watching it. My son and I are weirdos. We like spiders and stuff, so he was obsessed with the tarantula crawling across the outfield screen. The out of town scoreboard. They changed it for that.
Yeah.
So, and my wife loved the music. She was, it definitely has a different energy. So that was pretty cool.
So yeah.
But yeah, and then Bader, we'll see. Time will tell if
Yeah.
that's going to pay off. He's got top notch defense, which is always good to add that into the mix. His hitting in this first series has been, not all that impressive. He seemed to
Non-existent.
struggle a bit. He had a walk, I think, in his first at bat, but other than that, it's been, a little quiet. But I'm not going to pass judgment after one
It's
series.
it's too early. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It wasn't a big splash with the outfield bat,
Right.
but
Right. I
we'll
mean,
see.
it's a bat nonetheless. It's not Max Kepler, but we're going to see him. We'll be talking about that, I'm sure. Uh, but so yeah, I'm excited to see 103 out of the pen from a righty. We don't have that kind of electricity from anybody, and the fact that he threw first four pitches in his first save is it was pretty awesome too. He made little work and hardly any work. Sunday night we threw I think 13 pitches, something like that.
Yeah.
So hey,
The four pitches was insanely efficient. You can't
I mean,
get
just
much better than
the
that.
fact that the fact that he's throwing 99-mile-an-hour splitters,
Splitters. I
that
yeah.
that is unheard. It's unheard of. Like the guy's throwing 103 four seamer and he's throwing up a 99 splitter.
It's
So you're going
insane.
to throw a 99 with movement. Who's hitting that? Like you have to guess and guess right at where that thing's going to end up. Like that's
Yeah.
and I mean the entrance is electric. And picture that in October.
I
Like
know, right?
eh,
Yeah.
I saw somebody like you have to check the structural integrity of the city if he does that against Otani in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like just coming in like that and he strikes him out with the 103. That's I'm excited to see what he can bring, and the fact that he's going to be the closer. It's already been established. He's
Yeah,
closing the games. You're not going to see him in the seventh inning going against some stacked right-handed lineup.
right.
You should see Kirkering in that situation. Uh, but
Or Romano, honestly,
or
he needs to
Romano,
step
yeah,
up. He's got
he
to be a
does.
seventh or eighth inning guy that we
And
can rely on.
this might be exactly what Romano needs. Who
Yeah,
knows? Because
pressure's
he
off.
maybe having a set role could help him a little bit.
Yeah,
And the fact that they gave up Abel and Ty for Duran is, hey, I think that's a really good move for us.
it's solid. Yeah,
Yeah, like Abel was a piece that needed to be moved. He didn't have a spot here, and he wasn't going to have a spot here for the foreseeable future. So good luck to him in Minnesota. But let's get to the week, and then we can talk a little bit more about these guys. The
okay.
Phillies lost two to the White Sox, and won two against the Tigers. This White Sox series, uh, why didn't we do more?
I just a lot of lazy at bats, just unfocused. It was really frustrating to watch. I mean, you and I,
Yeah,
as we always do, were texting, and it was frustrating. And the Phillies have had an issue with playing down to opponents at times with this core group. I think for the past couple of years, sometimes they beat up on the teams, right? Sometimes they do what they're supposed to do, and they beat up on them. They got swept by the Pirates in Pittsburgh earlier
yeah,
this year, and then they went and lost 2 out of 3 in Chicago. Those are two teams that you should, without question, take 2 out of 3 for them, if not sweep. I mean, you just got to get the job done. And now the White Sox have been playing better baseball since the break. They're
but
actually one of the best offensive teams in baseball since the break. That said, they still are the White Sox, and you're
yeah,
supposed to be contending for a World Series. So you've got to find a way to take at least 2 out of 3 in that. And
yeah.
Sanchez didn't have his best stuff in Chicago. It wasn't bad. He still pitched well enough that he could have gotten the win if the
Right.
offense had woken up. But
That was that bad start that we had mentioned that he hadn't had. Like I think
right,
this was like statistically his worst start was against Chicago.
yeah,
I mean, the silver lining in all of this is that the Mets are scuffling a bit too, right? Like they went and
yeah,
made a whole bunch of moves at the deadline, and it hasn't paid off just yet. Uh, but they're not winning games either. They're going back and forth with the Giants and whoever else they played. So we're seesawing with them for first place, but we got to hold that spot. We got to make sure that we're at least secure somewhere in a playoff spot.
yeah. I don't think you have to win the division, but you need to be playing good ball going into October.
Like,
And whether that means the Mets have picked it up too, and they just edged us out by a game, but we still have the top wild card spot, or whatever that is, they have to be playing good baseball come
yeah,
October, and they need to be locked in. And I'm not no, it's I don't think it's the end of the world if we don't win the division, but I think how
yeah.
we're playing by the end of September is very important.
Oh, absolutely. This is the Padres are going to lock up a wild card spot at least. So
They
that
made
leaves
some
two.
moves too.
No, they made some moves. Um, they and then that leaves two wild card spots. So you need the division or one of the two remaining wild card spots. And Cincinnati's not playing terribly. You know,
No,
uh,
no,
uh,
they didn't make the best moves though. They made some
and
really weird moves at the deadline.
and then
Brian Hayes, I don't know that's really boosting their chances much. It's kind of
defensively,
odd.
but uh, the Cubs and the Brewers, they're going to be going back and forth. The Brewers are ridiculous right now, and the Cubs are
Brewers are
still a
the
really good team.
scariest. Brewers are
Yeah,
the scariest team in the National League. I do
right
not
now,
want to
yes.
play them in the playoffs. They are, and we talked about. I think I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, but the Brewers don't have like a big time power guy. Really, it's just they hit the ball in timely situations. They do the little things. They play good defense. They steal bases. It's hard to beat a team like that. You have a team like the Phillies. If you can keep our hitters off balance, you're probably going to beat us.
Yeah,
The Brewers, that's not going to work. They're fundamentally sound, and they're loaded with contact hitters that get on base and again steal
and they
bases and
run.
put
They
pressure.
can run.
And they don't make errors in the field. And that combination it's not the sexiest way to play baseball because it's not
Not these days,
it
no.
doesn't get a lot of highlights, but it
But
wins
it wins.
games.
It wins.
But I agree. The Cubs definitely are in the mix as being dangerous. They could string together a lot of wins in a row,
So
but we'll see.
so that might just leave one wild card spot, and we need to make sure we're at least there.
Yeah.
But hopefully, they have a good week this week coming up. We'll see how that all plays out. So let's get the studs and duds. There's some names to throw out there. I want you to go ahead and let's tell me what you got.
So, I'll start with we'll start with the stud. I am gonna have to give it to Brandon Marsh.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
we've been pretty critical of him. You especially. I know
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
he's well, we all have our guys where we do that, where we are extra harsh on them for one
Mhm.
reason or another. But this guy has really picked it up over the past month or so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's been a huge help. For example, he's batting 444 this past week, the last two series, 444 batting average, two homers in that Chicago series, just three RBIs. So he's at the bottom of the lineup. But he's keeping innings alive, right? He's putting the ball in play. And his batting average for the season is up to 263. I'll take Brandon Marsh hitting
Oh, absolutely.
263, 265, batting eighth, ninth, whatever. Or they had him up at sixth at certain points because of injuries and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I think in an ideal situation, Marsh is no higher than seven in your lineup.
It's
But yeah, and defensively, he made one or two really good plays in center field in Chicago that
yes.
kept them alive early, and I think they ended up losing the one where he made a crazy catch. But he gives the effort. He's given the effort. He seems healthy right now, which is good. But yeah, I got to give him the credit. He
Sure.
has been surprisingly effective lately, both in the field and at the plate. His at bats have been better. He's not swinging at as many bad pitches. He's seeing the ball well, it seems
Mhm.
like. So I hope it keeps up. His history suggests that he'll probably fall back off again because that's just typically what happens. But who knows? Maybe he's got something
So
that he's doing slightly different at the
he's
plate that's working for him.
offensively, he's in a spot that we would have expected our future center fielder to be in. 275 ish.
Yeah.
I mean, 260 compared to what he was in the beginning of the year. It's like kind of like the same like Alec Bohm situation was in.
Yeah.
Like they were started off really poorly and have picked it up big time. Um, so as far as my stud goes, I could have gone with Marsh. I could have gone with Sanchez after his performance against the Tigers. I'm going to go with Otto Kemp.
Yeah,
Offensively,
that's a
Otto
good one,
Kemp.
man.
I think he came up huge Friday night,
Yeah.
and like he had a couple hits. Like he had that little bloop single Friday, but that double to tie the game was a moment that we needed somebody to come through, and he did. And he's somebody that plays the game hard. Like he puts in the effort. Defensively he's not all that great, but he puts up good at bats, and he's starting to drive the ball. He had a two homer game in Chicago,
Yeah.
and he's driving the ball. He's putting the ball in play, like, more than some other guys.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what we need. When he's in the game, and I'm happy with what he's produced.
That's a great choice. I didn't really think about that, but that's a really good choice because, like you said, he gives 100, he gives max effort every time he's in the game. Whatever position he's at, he's trying. Yes, his defense leaves something to be desired. He's not great with the glove. What I hope is in the off season, he works on that. I hope he comes back and is not. He doesn't have to be a Gold Glover, right? He doesn't have to be an elite defender. We just need him to make the plays that come to him. You just don't be booting an easy ground ball. Don't be, holding on to the ball too long before you throw. Just work on the fundamentals of fielding, and I think he'll be fine. He doesn't have to be Ozzie Smith out there. He just
Right.
needs to, make the plays as they. And Bohm did that, right? Bohm has become a
Yeah.
serviceable third baseman. He makes most of the plays that come to him now in a way that he was not doing 2-3 years ago. So it's something. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are naturally gifted with a glove, and you can't teach that level of skill. But you can improve, just like any aspect of baseball. You can
Mhm.
become a better hitter, fundamentally. Like you might be able to bring your batting average up a few points just working on certain things. But I like him. I really hope that they keep him around as kind of a long-term super utility guy. I mean, I think he seems to fit in well with them, with this group. And he's starting to find his stroke at the plate. He's hit some home runs since he's been up now. After that first couple of weeks, he took him some time to get the power stroke going. But I agree with you. I think he's been an underrated aspect of their success lately.
Like, you need those kinds of guys. He's better than Weston Wilson anywhere. Weston almost put one out against Scooble, but that's
Yeah, but
but I digress.
Wilson's got to. I mean, he is not. He cannot be on this roster come playoff time.
He's not going to be seeing any time if he is.
Yeah.
Unless you're in desperation mode, need a bat, or you're up big. And then, what do you have for dud?
Max Kepler.
Absolutely.
I don't even need to give stats. It's just
terrible.
he is mentally not there. He just doesn't look like he wants to be there. I heard somebody say it this way: he has a great looking swing generally. He just doesn't barrel the ball up. He's just like, the swing itself is good, but he's swinging over pitches. He's not swinging at pitches in the zone, or his zone at least. Yeah, it's just he's almost going through the motions to an extent, and it's funny that he's still on the roster, because
Right.
I think that was the assumption. We talked about it, that when they traded for Bader, that would mean Max would get the boot. Well, Rojas got sent down, which isn't shocking. It's a righty for a righty. I kind of get that,
Right.
and they do similar things defensively, but Bader should be better offensively. Yeah.
Right.
And I think so. It's a good trade off in that respect. But yeah, you still have Kepler sitting there taking up a roster spot, and he's been a decent left fielder defensively. But I mean, batting 200, that's just, you cannot have that on a roster for a team that's trying to win a pennant race. It's just not. It's not something you can do. So, and maybe we can talk more about this, but
Yes,
the
absolutely.
rumors are floating around about Justin Crawford still. And we can talk about Dave Dombrowski's comments. We can talk about our
Yes,
speculation. I'll let you lead into that.
All of that Kepler stuff is on the docket here.
Right.
It's based off of Kepler and then going from there. As far as my dud goes, Matt Strahm. What are you doing? What is going on with him? Like, he had nothing on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he's not hitting the zone. The fastball doesn't have life. Like, you get 2 outs, and then you're walking
The walks.
guys.
The walks are what kill me.
No. Just make them put the ball in play. You give up a solo shot. So be it. But you cannot walk guys and then stay in to let up a moonshot to Baez. Like, Matt Strahm does not look good right now, and he needs to figure that out. Thank goodness they added a bullpen piece, even though it's not a left-handed bullpen piece. But Tanner Banks has been pitching well as far as the left side goes.
He has, yeah.
So Matt Strahm better figure this out, and maybe they have a little bit more security coming as far as bullpen. But we'll get to that, I think, as well. So that leads me into to pros and cons. I honestly want to go with my cons first before we get anywhere. It's the bullpen decisions of Rob Thompson. Specifically Saturday night, we talked about this. Why in the world do you have a right-handed pitcher ready for a right-handed bat, but you're leaving Matt Strahm in to let up 2 walks and then leave him to face that right-handed bat in Javier Baez, who's been swinging a great bat all season? Like, Romano was ready. You put Romano in, you potentially get that out. You don't know what's going to happen. When Romano came in to get the outs, he was just fine. He did what he needed to do. And then I get he trusts his ace in Wheeler, but you got to put your foot down. Like, he's already at 95 pitches.
Well, and Wheeler did admit, I shouldn't have forced the issue. Like, that was, right. I think that was good communication and realization on his part. Like, that was a really veteran thing to do, like, not to say, he took the blame for that. But yeah, I agree. You're the manager, and you do have to push back, even with your star pitcher. Be like, look, man, you've given us a good effort today, but I think we got to get you out of there, and I want to save you for the next one.
It kind of leaves you to feel like he's soft. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, he needs to be a little bit more hard-headed, and like, hey, this is what I'm saying. sit down. Like, I know who you are. I know what you provide to this team. But right now, I think the best move is to put this guy in.
Well,
And,
he gave up a couple of home runs. He wasn't his sharpest, and he knew
right.
that,
He
you know.
hasn't been sharp either.
No, and I'll kind of say that's kind of my con is just the pitching overall has not been as good as it should be, aside from Duran coming in and all that. But overall, it's been a little shakier, especially the starters. They have not been
Yeah.
as I don't feel as comfortable with them right now as I did in the first half. I think that's to be expected. There's going to be blips in a season this long with when you have this many innings. Again, our starting staff pitches so many innings compared to other staffs in the league. But outside of Sanchez, you know, Wheeler has not been at his best. Ranger has not been quite at his best. They're not bad, right? They're not like they're pitching still arguably well enough to get wins if the offense is functioning in a game. Like 4 or 5 or 3, 4, 5 runs let up. Not great, but not insurmountable. It's
Mm-hmm.
still a game you could
So
win if your offense is going.
the good news is help is coming. Like, Nola's going to get back to it very
Yeah,
soon. He's going to help give us that fifth starter that we need. And I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing David Robertson.
yeah.
And you know what? Jose's coming
Alvarado,
back. Use
Alvarado.
him, wear him dry.
Yeah, extend it.
Like, save your arms that you're going to need for the playoffs and use Alvarado as much
Yeah,
as possible. Like, he's still going to have some nasty stuff. You would think he's been keeping himself in shape, apparently.
that's what they say.
Keeping himself baseball ready. So let's hope that he can give us what he's got
Yeah.
for August and September. But what about your pros?
I mean, for me, it's got to be the offense has had frustrating nights, but the pro is, I think, the big the big guys are still hitting.
Yeah,
Schwarber, Harper are still providing power, and
absolutely.
that's a good thing. That's something we need to see for the rest of the way through into October and through October. That if they can do that, um, throughout down the stretch here, this team has a really good chance because if they're hot, it forces the pitchers to either pitch around them, so it should allow for the guys behind, Nick and JT to get better opportunities as well to hit with runners in scoring position. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
a cascading effect if those two guys continue to hit. Schwarber hit another bomb last night for insurance in the eighth.
that was
I was pretty annoyed by the offensive effort
yeah.
of the game overall, but it was nice to see
Thank
Kyle
goodness.
Gage, number 38 on the season.
Right.
He's been steady. Like he's just been at this pace. Just he's just getting a few home runs every week at least. It's
Right,
just
and
it keeps going. And Harper has I think I heard 19 extra base hits in his last 19 games. That's
it's
really
crazy. It's
good.
awesome. Like, that's MV3 style. And then
Yeah.
Schwarber's putting the ball where Ryan Howard would put the ball. That the
Yep.
power is just insane. Like, and he's not the biggest guy, but his hands are so fast, and he's so strong. Like, I mean, I love watching him hit homers. It's otherworldly.
I
You
like
know.
when he goes down on one knee and that load and it's just insane. He's on one knee and he's hitting the ball to like the
like
second deck
like
sometimes. It's like I wish I was that
pretty sure
strong.
when he hit that walk off against the Dodgers a couple years ago. Like, yeah, he didn't get down on one knee on that one too. Like, or like when
He
he
may
hit
have. He does it sometimes though, and it's like
but he
the man is
knows.
strong. Yeah.
Like, he knows right off the bat most of the time. Like, if the thing is going. Like, I don't think he realized how much his ball carried last night. The one and he hit that
Yeah.
almost on the Ashburn alley.
Yeah, it was
Like
a
that.
long one.
It was. And then the big thing with Bryce, and I'm just going with the offense as well. The big thing with Bryce is that he's hitting with power the opposite way. When
Mhm.
he's doing that,
Mhm.
he's on. He's been swinging a really good bat, ever since he came off the IL. So it's exciting to see a healthy Bryce Harper. As far as we know, he's healthy, playing like this because that's exactly what we need. We have Schwarber right in front of him, and Casty's not swinging a bad bat either.
Casty's been steady. I mean, again, I think I said it last week. He hasn't gotten onto a real like hot streak, but he also hasn't gone cold really this year.
Yeah,
Like he hasn't gone in any major slumps. I'm okay with how Castellanos is playing this year. It's it's steady. I mean, he's what's he at 15, 14, 15 homers now, something
Something
like
like that.
that.
Yeah.
But Casty, it's funny when we first got him, I expected him to be a more like distinguished power hitter, I guess.
Me too.
But he's been a good doubles guy. He
Oh, yeah, he's
does
always
hit
been.
the ball into the gaps. It, he's been steady, and I think if he can keep doing what he's doing, again, he doesn't have to blow up and do like a huge, go on a huge torrid streak or anything like that. But as long as he's getting a hit in each game or averaging that basically, where he's just he's getting hits and he's doing it with runners on. That's all we need from him. We don't need him to be putting the ball in the bleachers every game when you got Schwarber and Harper doing it. I, I think I think their offense, we know what they're capable of. It's always
Yeah.
going to come down to execution. And in this week, they've had games where they looked great and other games where they just
Not
were
so great.
sleeping. And yeah, and I mean, you can't lean on your pitching that heavily every time. Sanchez can't pitch. Well, he could have gone a complete game, which you
He
and I
should
talked
have.
about it.
I think he should
Yeah,
have.
we thought. I do too. And I get you want to get Duran, get him his saves to build up his confidence and his comfort in the city, all that. I get that. But Sanchez had 84 pitches, I think.
Yeah,
He earned the right to go out there. 94,
absolutely.
95 pitches, I agree. Put Duran in. But he earned the right to go back out there. They weren't touching him. Right now, Cristopher Sanchez is the best pitcher in the National League. I'm going to say
Yeah.
that.
No,
He is the best pitcher in the National League. And Wheeler, I don't think is going to drop and not be effective. I think he's going to get back into a groove. He'll be fine. He's Zach Wheeler. He knows what stuff he has. He always comes through when we need him to come through. But right now, Cristopher Sanchez is the guy I trust most, given the ball to.
Cristopher Sanchez has earned himself quite a few Cy Young votes.
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about it earlier on in the season with our predictions. Dark horse for Cy Young was Cristopher Sanchez.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
and
you said that for sure.
he's really showing that. It's awesome watching him pitch. Being a three pitch pitcher and being shut down, like his sinker and his changeup. They were
Change
showing
up.
it.
Yeah.
They were showing it last night on the broadcast. Like it's the same arm slot, the same movement. Which one's coming at you quicker?
Yeah,
How is it
exactly.
going to drop? It's
I like the
deadly.
emotion too. Like when
Well,
he
I love
turned
it
that
too.
double play,
Yeah,
like he really, yeah, you can tell he wants to do this, get the job done. He wants to do well, and when he does, he's real excited, and you can tell he's hard on himself when he's not doing well. So
does.
I like that. I like the emotion and the passion that he has for the game, and we're very lucky that he
Yeah,
landed with
yeah,
us because
right.
I don't think that was thought to. I don't know that what they expected when they got him,
We
but I don't think they expected a number two starter
right.
essentially
Did,
in the
didn't re-
rotation.
didn't realize we were fleecing the Rays when we traded what Curtis Mead was the guy's name, I think, something like
I don't even remember, man.
that.
But
We
I mean,
fleeced
that
them.
tells you exactly. That tells you who won that trade
Yeah,
because he's
absolutely.
just no. He's been great. So I think that's awesome. I think in the playoffs you'll see that it'll be Wheeler, Christopher to kind of do the right left thing for one thing, but then also that's just how it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's just what you're looking at. We'll see what happens with the third spot. I mean, right now it's probably Ranger Suarez, but
See what Nola
it's still a
brings.
ways away. You don't know. Lazardo, I don't see working his
No,
way into a
neither do
playoff
I.
rotation. I think he may end up in the bullpen though, which is that I would be okay with that. To see how he might do. I don't think you drop him off the roster, but no, I don't feel comfortable starting him because we've seen what happens sometimes when he just doesn't have it. He gets destroyed
So
in a way that the team can't recover. And
you'll
Nola, maybe he might be able to work his way into like that fourth slot, or like maybe if we have a long 7 game series where we can't get Wheeler back out there right away. You might see Nola depend. Nola looked good though. I was
yeah,
watching
that
some of his
curveball looked nice.
highlights. He looks good. He looks comfortable. He looks healthy. I said it last time. I have a good feeling about Aaron Nola. I don't know why. Nothing from before he got hurt is indicating like having a good feeling. It's just a weird gut instinct I have that I just think he's going to come back. He has something to prove. He wants to show that he should have gotten the contract. I think he's heard the chatter, and I think I have a feeling he's going to come back. And again, I don't think he's going to be an ace. But I think he's going to be, a guy who can go 6 innings at least, and
Mhm.
limit the runs, like
Yeah,
only give up 2 or 3, and that puts us in a spot to win. And that's what you want out of your fourth spot or your
yes.
fifth spot, whatever he ends up being, because Painter may be coming up too. Who knows what that's going to look like? But
I'm kind of like speaking of Painter, I kind of feel like it's not happening.
it might not.
It's just the way things are playing out. I mean, he hasn't pitched the best lately. I mean, he settled in. I think the last start he settled in a little bit, but I mean, having a plethora of pitching is going to be like a downfall of Andrew Painter right now, which is like temporarily. I mean, he's
Yeah.
going to be on the roster next year. I have no doubt about it. But like I don't right now. I don't see a spot for him
Well,
with
right
Nola
now,
coming back.
I think what you're looking at next year is Ranger will walk. I think that he probably isn't back.
He's
I
going to
think
demand a
it's
lot.
Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, and Painter. I think that's probably what you're looking at as your
Isn't
starting rotation next
it?
year.
Isn't Luzardo a free agent after this year?
I thought he had another year, but I could be wrong. But if he's a free agent, then maybe it gets interesting, and you do try to bring Ranger back, and that would be fine with me too if they're willing to pony up and pay him because he's got Scott Boras, so you know he's
Right.
going to be
Yeah, it's,
looking for a big, and that's a risk with Ranger. He's had injuries, so I think the Phillies have to have a line in the sand of that they will not cross in terms of years, especially, but also the money because now they're talking about the salary cap, and we can get to that at a different point.
yeah.
Maybe that's a topic we can talk about in the next
You're-
episode,
Yeah.
but that's a whole thing that's going to be coming in the next couple, really after next season. That they're going to have to confront that. So. But I mean, I could see that. I mean, that would be a great rotation. You have Wheeler, Sanchez, Ranger, Nola, and Painter. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me.
Right.
Um,
I agree.
they're not most of them are decently young, but they're still experienced. Aside from Painter, who would be a rookie, but everybody else is a seasoned pitcher, but they're also not at the end of their careers, and that's kind of the best spot to be with pitchers.
Right. So we're going to be in good shape, I think, for the future. I'm curious to see what happens in
Yeah.
the off season with Ranger. He's not priority for me. He's third in
No.
the list of the big three free agents that they have. But we'll get to that as we get closer to the off season. I want to talk about my other dark horse prediction for this year, which was Justin Crawford being the everyday center fielder by this time.
Right.
So we're a little bit off track here, but Dombrowski made some comments that there's pretty much nowhere for him to play right now. I disagree entirely. Like,
Yeah.
there's a center
It's
field
very
spot,
easy.
and there's a
It's
center
very
field
easy.
spot that is very clearly where Justin Crawford should be playing, and there's
Yep.
a guy in left field who gives zero effort, who
Yep.
should not be on this
It's
roster. He should be getting the Whit Merrifield treatment. DFA him to oblivion.
It's very simple.
Uh,
Because the thing is, you'd replace the left-handed bat too, right? If
right.
you bring Crawford up, you have the left-handed bat, and then Kepler's gone, and then you also, again in left field, just platoon Bader and Marsh. I mean,
Yes,
basically
absolutely.
lefty righty it in left field. Your defense gets nothing, and Kepler's been pretty good defensively, but that combination is better yet. Is better still, I think, defensively. Bader and Marsh in
Right.
left, because Marsh in left is, I think I texted you this
Serviceable.
last
He's
night.
good.
He's an above average outfielder in left field. In center field, he's average, right? He's not as fast as he used to be. He's okay out there, but in left field, he's an above average corner outfielder because there's not as much ground to cover, and he has a pretty good glove if he gets to the ball, right? I think that's generally it. It's his issues are always in mistiming it on the run, right? It's always when
Yeah.
he's trying to make a catch on the run, he struggles. But if he can get under the ball, he generally catches. He doesn't make like stupid errors when he's like settled under the ball. And in left and right field, that's typically going to happen. It's the center fielder who's got to do all the running. Crawford's a fast guy. Sounds
Yeah.
like the spot for him,
Fast is an understatement. He'll be the
But
fastest player on the team right away.
But I sent you that last night, right? The image of the lineup that Iron Pigs went with. Crawford's in left field last night. So what does that mean? Why are they doing that? Are they planning to bring him up and put him in left and have Marsh in center? Why would you do that? It makes no sense.
Well, it's Bader in center at the time, but still it makes no sense. You can think about your left field, center field defense if you have any three of that combination, but with
Yeah.
Crawford in center, and they have Crawford in center, and then you have Bader in left or Marsh in left. You're gonna cover anything out there
And his
in left
average
field, left center, and center field.
Crawford's average bumped up too. It's closer to 330 now. It was
I
325 last week. So he's still hitting very
I
effectively. It's not like
couldn't.
he's dropped off.
Yeah, and I couldn't care less about the power numbers from him. I just want him to put
Me
the ball
neither.
in play. He's not going to. He
Yep.
might not strike out. There's going to be an adjustment period. Fine, I'll give him that. But he puts the ball in play. He puts the ball on the ground. He's not grounding into double plays. He's going to beat it out as long as he's hustling.
Absolutely. And
So
can you imagine in the future, hopefully next year, the top of that lineup could what it could look like? It could be you could have Crawford leading off, Turner batting second. All that speed. I mean, Turner still is one of the
yeah,
fastest, if not some at certain clocked speeds, the fastest guy still running on the bases in the game today. I've
at
seen
his
different
age
things
too.
on that. Yeah, but I mean that's a ton of speed. It's a lot of contact because Trey has kind of dialed back the power, but it's been in favor of more contact, hitting for a little bit better average this year than he has in past. So
Yeah,
I think that combination sets the table incredibly well for guys like Harper, Schwarber, Casty, whoever else is behind him next year, whatever that looks like. But even this year, just bring Crawford up. Let's
hey,
be done
and
with this speculation.
you mentioned Turner dialing back the power. Do you know he has no home runs at home this year?
I
Zero.
can't remember one, so I
Zero.
believe it. Yeah, but I do remember him hitting a lot on the road. He probably has more road homers than anybody on
Oh,
the team, except
he's got
Schwarber, maybe.
only road homer.
Right.
Um, but I think Dombrowski's comments in regard to Crawford, and he's saying Kepler is our left fielder for now. Like I'm putting
Hmm.
hard quotes on for now. I think
Right.
his time is ticking, but I think it's a load of crap that there's nowhere to play. And, excuse me for saying that, but I think there's clearly somewhere for Crawford to play. Give him his
Oh
chance
yeah.
now. So I want to see it. I'm ready. I don't want just my prediction to come true. I need it. You know. It's
No, it's what's best for the team. It
right.
gives them the best chance down the stretch here and into the playoffs. It gives you speed, it gives you a glove, and it gives you a contact hitter, and all of that is an upgrade from what they're dealing with. I mean, getting Rojas out makes sense because he was a non-factor. I mean, yeah, he played pretty good defense, but he made some questionable decisions sometimes. It wasn't always physical capability was never his problem in the field. It was his decision making, and he was useless at the plate. He couldn't bunt even by the end. He tried, but he couldn't even consistently lay bunts down. I don't see a world where he comes back up here. I don't see how that makes sense.
No time soon.
Let him play in AAA, or if you trade him, if someone's willing to take him in a deal for someone, fine. Nothing, no disrespect, but it just he doesn't fit. There's nothing. There's no logical reason to keep him, you know, certainly on the major league roster. So
Yeah.
I that made sense. But yeah, Kepler, that was a message by Dombrowski to him too, which is like, look, dude, you are
Put up.
you are living on borrowed time here. Yeah, you need to start showing up here and doing something, or else, moves will be made. And I think that is a good comfort because I don't think that they're going to keep Kepler on the roster unless he goes over the next 10 games, hits like 4 or 5 home runs and drives in, 10 or
Not
15
happening.
runs. You know what I mean? Like he'd have to go on an insane tear, I
Right.
think, for them to be like, okay, he's figured it out. They obviously are trying to figure out a way to bring Crawford up, but right now Dombrowski's saying that he doesn't see it.
Can't.
But then the
But he's
latter
ready.
part of that is, yeah, yeah, oh, he's ready, and they did say that
Right.
too, that he
Right.
is ready. So they've acknowledged that.
It's always been a Phillies thing to just wait too long. Like, come on.
Howard,
I
Ryan
mean,
Howard,
he was
and I
blocked.
get why Tommy was here, but still, man, I mean, yeah, I get it. The DH would have saved us from a lot of issues there, but
Man, could you imagine?
Howard lost like 2 or 3 seasons, by having to wait around, and I know they tried to teach him the outfield and all that, and that didn't work. But I, yeah, I mean
No.
that's that was a little different. But yeah, it's very clear Crawford
Yeah,
should be in center field.
absolutely. So leads me to my last bit was just the trades. Like I'm happy with the Duran. I'm really happy, honestly.
Yeah,
Like what he's provided already, it's electric. It's translated. That entrance is amazing. He can live in this atmosphere. Like the
yeah.
big market team in the Phillies. Like, and he's already put up some crazy stuff. And Bader, I want to give him his time. He's not the bat I wanted, not the bat I expected. I know his name popped up late, um, and I wanted more as far as the power goes. Like, they didn't really. I guess they didn't really have a chance at Sanchez, and from what I saw, like the Phillies they were getting begged to take Robert from the White Sox, and
You mean you mean Suarez?
yeah, Suarez. What did I say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the Mariners made some moves. I mean that they have a
Yeah,
potent lineup at this point, but
yeah.
I wanted him too. I think Suarez would have been a great
Suarez would have
fit
been
in this
great.
line, but yeah, it didn't work out. And I'm so yeah, the White Sox were. I've seen reports begging the Phillies to take Luis Robert. I'm so glad we didn't. I'm so glad we didn't because again, why? You have Justin Crawford right
Right,
there,
right.
and he's healthy, and he hits for a higher average, and he's probably better in the field. Robert's pretty good in the field, but I mean, he's not better than Crawford probably. So what are you gaining other than a guy who has a little more power but bats 200? We have enough of that. I'm so glad that they didn't do that because I really thought that that's the name I was going to see on my notification on my phone, the ESPN thing, when they were popping up. I
Mhm.
was
I
so
was,
every time I looked, I'm like,
I,
I swear it better not be Luis
I,
Robert, please.
I was on X all day on yeah, during the trade deadline. I mean,
Yeah,
I see Padres, Mets. Where are the Phillies? Come on. But
yeah,
I mean, as far as Bader goes, like, yeah, he's played in the playoffs, which is a big deal. Like, he played against us last year, and he did fairly well, if I recall. I mean, he's still got some good speed, and he's good. He's very good on defense. I just want to see him put some numbers up. Like, from looking at the stats, he already is as far as entering in our second best offensive outfielder, stats wise. Blatantly it's Cassidy and Marsh, but let's see what I'm not gonna say anxious, excited. I'm like hesitant to be excited for Bader, but I mean, I'm gonna get to see him. I'm going to the game this Monday, and they're seeing a left-handed pitcher, so he's going to be in the lineup. Let's see him. Let's
yeah,
see him do some damage today.
yeah. No, I think I think he's got potential to. He's having his best offensive year actually too, from what I was looking at. He's actually so far been good. I'm annoyed at people who are like, oh, this is just another Austin Hayes move. That's not accurate. He's better defensively, and
Healthier.
this year he's had better offense. Yeah, exactly. And Austin Hayes got a kidney infection like a few days
Yeah,
after he showed up here, and that really
right.
just kind of threw him off for the
Yeah.
whole. So I don't agree with that comparison. But was it the big splash that I think people were
Of
hoping
course.
for? No, I would have liked to see another, but I get it too. You don't want to mortgage your team's future for a maybe, and that's what you're doing essentially. No, nobody's a guarantee. And a lot of people would have wanted Painter, and
Yeah.
Dombrowski, to his credit, didn't give away any of our top three prospects. I would have
It's
been willing to part with Aiden Miller in a deal that brought Stephen Kwan here.
Yeah. Me too.
Um, but that didn't. Ultimately, there were teams trying. I mean, they were talking down to the deadline with him, and ultimately the Guardians decided
So,
they wanted to hold on to
I
him
mean,
because I don't think teams were giving
I mean,
back the
I-
boatload of prospects that they were looking for.
we like we gave away pennies, if you think about it, to the Twins for both trades compared to what the Padres gave up for Mason Miller. The Padres gave up
Yeah, and
one of the best
The Mets gave
prospects
up
in
a
the
couple
league.
of prospects. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. No, the Padres. I think a lot of that was questionable. Giving all that away. I mean, they got some players. There's no question.
They did.
But it's a gamble, and I think I get why Dombrowski approached it the way he did because you have next year. Like you have a lot of these guys are still here next year. Yes, they're a year older, but you're going to also have Crawford, Painter, Miller won't be there certainly at the start of next year.
Right.
Um, but maybe later on in the year, depending on the team's needs, he may find his way up. Who knows? But point is, you've got reinforcements coming who are younger to complement the more established veteran guys that you've got, and you don't want to blow up your minor league system
Right.
for a maybe.
And we
That's
did.
that's kind of where I'm at, and
And we didn't.
right, and I think Dombrowski is betting on like, look, this is a good team. When they're going, they're going. They're a good offensive team. They hit the ball. They're dangerous. And the truth is, they got to step up. Like, one bat wasn't going to change the fact that they still need to step up in the playoffs.
Mhm.
You know, even if that new bat was hitting and the rest of them went to sleep, they're not going to win. Like, with that formula, you need to step up and hit the baseball when the playoffs arrive. And they haven't done that the last 2 years, really.
Right.
So this year, I think that's what it is. It comes down to, does the offense perform, or do they go to sleep again? Because I feel really good about Duran. I
Me too.
think if we get into situations where we have a lead late in the game, I feel good. I mean, it's 2 games so far, right? I mean, but
Yeah.
he seems to have electric stuff, and he seems to have a really good feel for his pitches, when to throw them, who to throw them to. I don't know. I really like him. I like that story about the number thing too, with
Yeah.
Rob Thompson giving up his number, and that was a like
His
kind of a cute story, and
his wife hates it.
Yeah, Rob's like, I mean, I don't care. He never even wears a jersey really. Usually it's
Right.
that windbreaker or whatever, but yeah, his wife was upset. He's like, I got to get her new merch now. This is kind of funny. And
Well,
and then Duran
sorry.
said his wife was a little upset because he apparently has like a pool in the
Mhm.
Dominican Republic at his house with the number at the bottom of it.
Right. That's
So he really wanted to keep it. So it was a good story. It seems like a good start with the relationship between the two of them, which is important
yeah.
too.
Especially gonna be here for years.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, they have the ingredients. They just got to get it done. And real quick, I'll just mention too. You were talking about Saturday earlier about uh, I guess Wheeler just kind of staying in too long or whatever. And uh, I was at Banana Ball during that, so I was tracking it on my phone, the Phillies game. But we went to Banana Ball in Baltimore, and it was interesting. It was definitely baseball meets circus, which is what I figured. It was I couldn't understand all of it. Like the stealing first base, I still don't understand how that exactly works. Like
Yeah. I don't
I
know
thought I
either.
knew going in that you could just kind of steal first, like just run down the line or whatever. But they were doing it after they'd strike out, and it was like the Bananas or whoever the fielding team was would throw the ball down the third, and then they throw it around the diamond. But it looked like you had to complete everybody had to touch the ball before he got to first base, which is physically impossible. Like that's not going to happen.
Wow.
So I couldn't. They were safe every time. It was really weird. I didn't get that part of it, but we didn't stay the whole time. The kids. I mean, we got there for the pregame festivities, which is a big part of it. Going to see the carnival kind of stuff beforehand, um, and we were at Camden Yards, which it was packed with people. It was sold out, of
Yeah.
course.
Big
Nowhere
deal.
to go. There was standstill traffic, foot
Yikes.
traffic, in a way that
Wow.
like Camden Yards is an aesthetically beautiful field, but functionally it is nowhere near the level of Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to navigate getting around CBP, even with a full crowd. Camden Yards it's just like smushed in there, kind of, right, up against the buildings and all that. And I get that that's part of the aesthetic, and it's one of the best aesthetics in baseball, but functionally one of the worst that I've been to.
Well.
It's really hard to get around and or to navigate, especially in
So
a crowd. So
cool. You got to experience it
yeah,
still. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so,
It was worthwhile.
so that's all. That's all the topics. I can do a quick guess that Philly if you're interested.
Let's go for it, man.
All right. So, in honor of this alumni weekend that we had, Jimmy Rollins, Ed Wade, congratulations to you both. I'm picking a guy that was within their time frames, and also
Okay.
in honor of the trades that the Phillies made with the Minnesota Twins. This player also played for the Twins. So
Okay.
trying to be good about it. So he started off his career. He was actually drafted by the Twins, but he started his major league career with the Phillies.
Okay.
He was a middle infielder. He wore number 8 and number 34. I think he started with 34, then moved to 8. He was a 245 career hitter. He played from 2001 to 2014, 3 years with the Phils, 7 years with the Twins, and then sprinkled in with the Cardinals, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, and the Athletics.
Okay.
And you-
Middle infielder, you said?
yes, sir.
Okay. 34 and 7
8.
or 8? 8.
34
Number
8.
8.
Yes.
Okay.
Like 8's the number I remember him with, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
He hit 19 home runs over his career. He wasn't a power hitter. Uh,
Yeah.
so this is a little fun fact. In 2009, he was the shortstop and leadoff hitter for the Italian national team in the World Baseball Classic.
Oh man.
Think of Italian last names.
Was it Dave DeLucci?
No, it was not.
Okay.
Uh,
He was older when he came to us too. That wasn't where he started, I don't think.
no, I think Dave DeLucci played for other teams. Than the ones I gave.
Also, he was an outfielder, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what
so
I'm thinking of there.
this guy was strictly middle infield. I remember him mostly at second base, especially with the Twins. His nickname was Shredder, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's not coming to me.
Initially,
I thought about Tomas Perez, but I don't think it was him either.
No, he's not Italian.
That's true.
So I'll give you initials. You'll probably get at this point. NP.
Nick Punto.
Yes, it's Nick Punto.
Yeah, I forgot about him, but yeah. No, he was an energetic guy. He always had some energy to him. Yeah. That was a good one. That was I hadn't thought about him.
Yeah, it's like he was perfectly in that J roll and Ed Wade time. You don't think about what Ed Wade did for the Phillies a lot. Like he drafted the core.
I mean, he drafted. It's what I said. I was actually, my father-in-law just said, "Did you guys talk about he got in the Wall of Fame even though he didn't win a World Series?" I'm like, yeah, but he drafted all the guys that did win the World Series. Yeah, so that's why that's what it's based on. Is he did pick those guys and construct a lot of that team that Gillick ultimately finished off and they won.
He made some trades with us too while he was with Houston, so that was helpful. And he has that. I mean, his name has a drop in Moneyball, which is pretty cool. When they traded John.
I know, yeah. Well, his voice. It's not his. It's not his voice, but it's. They say get Ed Wade on the phone, and then when he trades Jeremy, he sits down and he's like, "This is Ed Wade's number. He's the GM. He's a great guy." This is really funny. Yeah.
And then it's just the moment's pretty cool. It's like Mabry, and he's like, "What?" Because he's talking about John Mabry.
Maybe who? No, Mabry. John Mabry.
All right. Well, this has been a good chat. Finish it off for us.
Yep. Yeah. So, guys, go ahead and listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media. We have our Facebook at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast, Instagram at Phillies Unfiltered, and then X/Twitter at Funfiltered, PHUNPHILTERED.
Perfect.
And that's our show for today, everyone.
Jim's
going to the game tonight. We're recording this on Monday. Jim's going to the game tonight. I'm going tomorrow on Tuesday. So we should have some in-park experiences to share with you all next week. Hopefully we've won some series by then. Hopefully we get back to a consistent knocking them down. And thanks for joining us, everybody. And Jim?
As always, go Phils.
Go Phils. Take care, everybody.